Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. This is our Saturday edition. I'm not wearing anything homemade today. It's chilly out and I've just got a shirt and a sweatshirt on trying to stay cozy. It's crazy. We've had weather up in the 70s, upper 70s, and now it's back down again and it's damp and chilly outside right now. So yeah, anyway, nothing homemade that I'm wearing today. So let's get started with my finished objects. Kim and I are going to an event, like a little craft. It's not really a craft fair. It's in a town in the next state over. She went to it last year. They have like a little parade and I'm not positive. I think it's like an opening day for maybe like their local baseball, something like that, or some kind of a spring event, something along those lines. But we've been invited to set up a table or two if we would like to. And it's not costing anything, which is even better yet. So I am making some items for that. Last week I showed you the little, I'll show you one of them real quick. One of the little curler critters. I made a bunch of these. So I've got like a few more I can make till I run out of eyeballs. So I'm gonna finish those up hopefully this week. But I also bought some of the hair scrunchie things, the ties, hair ties, and I have crocheted scrunchies for it. So I have two that are identical. These are the two pink ones. And then I have one that's a solid pink. And then I did some in some red, white, and blue colors, kind of I try to pick what were normal, like team type of colors, or you could wear them for like patriotic colors, because this year, July 4th, is our 250th anniversary in the US. And so I thought, well, people might be looking for things with that too. So that's what I have made so far. I still have some more scrunchies left to make. So I'm going to be working on those. So that's my finished objects. Now my works in progress, I will start first with my sweater. I've gotten a long ways with it. Last week I had just finished the lace section. This is the bottom of the sweater. It's a free pattern, and I believe, I keep forgetting who it was by. It's a free pattern. I'll put it down here. But it is it Premier Yarn Design? I forget. I will put it down here what it is. But it's a free pattern called Dragonfly. It's Dragonfly Pullover. But this week I have gotten into the stockinette section, because the lace is just at the bottom, and there you can see it. And I like the way it kind of scallops at the bottom. Now I'm consecutively knitting with 3 different colors. When I did this bottom part, it was simply these 2 colors, held 2 rows done with this and then 1 row with this. And initially I was going to add this 3rd color when I ran out of the brown, but then I was afraid it wouldn't look quite right. So I'll hold this up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm doing 2 rows with the multicolor and then a brown, 2 rows of the multicolor and a brown, 2 rows of the multicolor and then teal, 2 rows of the multicolor and then teal. So you can kind of see how it's looking. I just think this will blend better, because otherwise the bottom would have all looked like this, and then when I changed color, the top would have looked like this. And I thought, nah, I don't know if I like that. So this is going to kind of stripe, and it should go all the way up, at least in theory. That's my plan, what's going to happen. So I have some stitch markers on here. I thought I would show you what I'm doing, why they are there. This stitch marker here strictly just marks the two side seams of the sweater. So the beginning stitch markers on one side, the side markers on the other, because this is knit from the bottom up. And right now I'm getting into a section where it has a slight shaping at the waist, even though I'm not technically at the waist now. I'm just kind of just above the hips based on the length of the sweater. So it's starting to gradually taper in. And then you're going to knit to the underarms, and then it splits. So that's why you've got the 2 side seams, is for the decreases as well as when it's going to split. So here is here is the marker I'm using for the beginning round, so it's a colored ring. And then right here is where I started the decrease. Up to here, the stitches were the same as they were down below. But starting here, you do a 2-stitch decrease, and then you go 24 rows. So I put this little tea kettle, there you can see it, right on this brown line, or the brown row right here, so I can easily count when I hit the 24, and then it does some more decreases. And then I put this one on as a progress keeper, so it kind of goes with the teapot because it's a little teacup and it's blue and white, which I like. The funny thing is I have a large cup very similar to this that I'm drinking my tea out of. I got this at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival a couple years ago when Kim and I were walking around, and I could kick myself because she was right. Kim said, you should get 2 of them and make them into a set of earrings. I should have done that because you know how much I like my tea, but I didn't think about it and I just bought one. So I have my teacup and my teapot. So those are what my stitch markers are that are on it. But I got quite a bit done this week, so I've actually gotten about 3.5, almost 4 inches from here to here done. And it's going pretty quick because it's mindless. I don't have to watch what I'm doing other than when I change colors. And like I said, I am using all 3 skeins at one time. I'm just twisting them as I go up, so I'm just running them up the back. I didn't want to have a whole lot of ends to weave in. And so, yeah, when I get all the way around to where I change color, I just twist the yarns around each other and then keep going. That way I don't have a whole lot of loose stringy ends, and it keeps it nice and taut. So that way I don't have any like a laddering type of thing as it goes up. So that's project 1 that I'm working on. And then I got the entire, whoops, there goes the yarn. I got the entire 3rd row done to the continuous join C2C. So here it is 3 rows across. I'll have to insert a picture so you can see the entire thing, what it looks like. I've got 1 more whole row to go, and there's an end I forgot to weave in. But here it is here. So this is going to be a total of 6 squares down, 4 squares across. So I have another row of 6 squares to go down yet. So there we go. And I ended, where's my yarn? I ended over here. So the next row will come off of here and come down. So I'm hoping to have this done next week. We'll see if I can get 6 squares done. If I was only working on this, I would stand a chance. But the fact is I'm working on this and the sweater and trying to get some craft fair things put together. So yeah, not getting as much done. I will say with this yarn, and Mary Wanamaker and I were chatting back and forth because she's the one that I got this idea for this pattern from. And that was, she had posted something on Show and Tell back last summer, and hers was done in blue, and I still remember the color. It was Red Heart Scuba, and I fell in love with it, and that's when I started making this in the green. Now this yarn is Tonal Hues by Bag O' Day. It is a very dense acrylic. I mean, it's a 4-weight. It's extremely soft. I do love the feel of it. But sometimes like the acrylics that I showed yesterday, or these acrylics, they're fairly lightweight, and when you hold them as a skein, they're light. They're not real dense. You almost feel like there's a lot of air fluff. There's a lot of fluff to them, I guess. This doesn't feel that way. This is very dense. There's not a whole lot of air or fluff into this yarn. It almost gives the feeling or the weight of like cotton. It just is, it feels heavier than your standard acrylic, although this is a sport weight and this is a worsted weight. But yeah, and Mary thought maybe it's just, you know, because I'm not as used to working with worsted weight, which is the truth. I work with worsted weight when I make like Afghans and stuff for family members and things. but when I tend to make things for myself, I tend to use the lighter weight yarns. So she thought maybe that was what was throwing me too, because I told her, said it's going to be a really heavy blanket, but just weight wise, it just seems heavier than some of my other yarns. But I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but I do like it. The colors, I like the color in this, but I will say that there's long color change. It's long between color changes, which is why I think some of my color changes in here look a little off. I tried to do some color control with it, but then you end up with too abrupt of a color change. So yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be, but I'm hoping to get it finished in the next week. So hopefully next week we'll have a finished project. So that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? So if you missed yesterday's video, it was another yarn haul. This one I got from Oriental Traders. I did not know they carried yarn. I bought 3 skeins of the Big Twist Value Pound Plus. So there it is. There is 1,093 yards per skein, which is 100 meters. And yeah, it's 100% acrylic. This color is ivory. This one is going to be made into a crocheted shawl, so this will be my next project, because I just need a neutral kind of colored shawl to wear when I don't have other things to go with. And then I bought 2 skeins of this, which was called Cream, which I told you yesterday to me is more oatmeal or ecru kind of color. And this is going to turn into a neutral colored cardigan at some point. So that is what I got with it. I will say I was really happy with Oriental Traders. It shipped to me really, really fast. This came out $3 cheaper per skein than buying it at Michael's. So I was really surprised there, because I think Michael's is $11.99 and this was $8.99 or $8.98. Something like that. It was $3, and then they were running a special. If you spent over $25, you got free shipping. So yeah, this was a really super good deal. So I was real happy about that. And I also like the fact that they pack each skein individually in plastic, which I thought was nice too. So that was my video yesterday, if you missed it, as well as a thrift haul. So if you want to check out that video and see what I got at the thrift stores as well, you can click the link right here. That'll take you over to it. This Friday's video, if you remember 2 weeks ago, I showed you in a yarn haul that I had also gotten some of this food coloring, and it's food coloring gel, which is what I've dyed my yarn with before, and I am dyeing yarn to make my own yarn advent calendar for next year. But this comes in a whole bunch of unique colors. You know, normally when you buy food coloring, it's red, white, or red, green, blue, and yellow. This has a whole bunch of different colors to choose from. So I'm going to experiment with some of these colors I've never used before and see what I come up with, because it has red, black, lemon yellow, sky blue, green grass, white, pink, purple, gold, and brown. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little experimenting. So that'll be next Friday's video. So now it's time for, so in our Come and Get It section today, this is where I list all the sales that I am aware of. If you're interested in any of them, if you click the link down below, the video where the bold word more is, it all is in there alphabetically. If there's a coupon code needed, I put it there as well. And if you buy through one of those links, I do get a portion of I get a commission off of the sale, which helps support the channel for like yarn giveaways, and it helps with the shipping and stuff like that. So anyway, that being said, I don't have that many sales for today because there were several sales that happened earlier this week. So I will let you know what I do know. Okay, first off is Lion Brand. Lion Brand, they are focusing on tweed right now, but they are offering 30% off of yarn and kits. And I believe that ends on Monday. So there's no coupon code needed or anything, but it's 30% off of yarn and kits. Mary Maxim, they are running a site-wide yarn sale, 25 to 50% off of every, let me read my writing here, off of every skein. Yes, okay, so Mary Maxim site-wide yarn sale, it does end on Monday, 25 to 50% off of every skein. And Mary Maxim runs some pretty good sales to begin with. I have bought from them several times, and yeah, they get it to you quickly. I mean, very quickly. And yeah, their yarn is very good. They offer very good prices with that. So that's Mary Maxim. So the last sale that I know about is Lovecrafts. And this one's a little confusing the way it's worded, so hopefully I'm explaining it right. They are offering up to 50% off, plus if you spend $45 or more, you can get an additional 25% off most everything. I don't think it's 50% off and then 25% off. The way I'm reading it is 50% off of most things, and then what isn't in the 50% off, they're offering 25% off if you spend $45, I think that's how it is. You do need to use a coupon code with that, and that is YAY, Y-A-Y, and I'm not sure how long that sale lasts. I didn't see an expiration date on the sale, and I hope I explained it right, because when I read it, it was a little confusing. So yeah, you'll have to go, if you go over and look, you can figure it out for yourself, and if you can figure it out, let me know. So yeah, so that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please click that little red subscribe button down below, and if you give me a thumbs up, I really do appreciate it. It does help the video to be recognized and shared. So thanks so much, and I will see you again on Friday when we do a little more yarn dyeing together. Bye, everybody.